Today we're going to talk about the customer journey, and it's not that I'm going to show you how to. It's more like giving you a framework to think about when you're putting all the pieces together: the website, the Facebook, the Google, the Yelp, all of those pieces together. What you need to kind of keep in mind, and I have to say that I have. I forgot something very important in yesterday's presentation that I have to address because it's extremely important.
Can you mute, Alin? Can you mute everyone?
Yeah, let me mute. All right. So today we're going to talk about the customer journey, but talking about that your new shopper, an existing shopper that has bought once but has not repeated since, a repeated shopper, and your VIPs. How each of those should be treated differently in their journey when you put together your Facebook, your Google, your Instagram, your website. Before that, I have to address something that I forgot about with SEO, and that's metadata. And we talked about it before when we looked at the Shopify spreadsheet and when we looked at the Shopify product page. If you can remember, at the bottom of every product page, there is an area that says search engine preview, and it automatically generates whatever you put in the title and the description of the product. I do not know how it works in Lightspeed, Magento, and other softwares, but I think tomorrow we can ask the Lightspeed rep to tell us about how it's done. But for Shopify, at least, when you upload the spreadsheet or create the product, it automatically generates the metadata. That's the information that is fed to Google and that tells Google what's on the page. So you really want to make sure that the style number is there and that the brand name is at least in the first 5 words of the product. And I also sometimes go the extra step of I do not include the brand name in the title because it's already showing up on the page under the vendor. So there's no point of me saying Alambika dress. So when I create the product, the brand is not going to be in the title. I do the extra step of adding it in the SEO. You don't see it here, but I do make that point of adding it before the Abby linen dress. They put Alambika. And in the first sentence, style check, so cool and breathable, I make sure that Alambika is included in the first sentence.
Alin, can you let people in? Waiting room.
There's no one in the waiting room right now. Just let everyone.
Okay, so Fatima also waiting.
I don't see anyone in the waiting room.
All right, I'll tell her to.
I'm in.
Yeah, she's in.
Okay, sorry, Fatima.
And then you have to SEO your pictures, meaning the pictures need to be labeled and named with the brand, the style number, and the item. So Alambika dress SD601P. Every picture needs to have that labeling. We do it for you. For Alambika, Lauren, Two Danes, whatever you're buying, all of the images that we give you are already pre-labeled, so you don't need to do that, but you will need to do that for other vendors that you're getting and they're not labeled and they have not done it for you. Okay, so let's move on to today's session. So today we're going to focus on 5 types of users that need to be considered. One second. Okay, sorry. My husband decided to go to the supermarket, so he's asking me what needs to be. Hold on, I'm going to give him the list. All right, so 5 users. So the first type that you need to think about, and you need to think about it in a, this, I'm going to give you examples here and best practices, but there are a lot of other things that you can do. And for every one of you, it'll be, a little different. But this is like the bare things, the minimum that you can do to make your journey worthwhile, because you'll be seeing many different people coming to your website. There'll be people that already know you and know the store and have bought from you, numerous times, and there'll be people that are first-time visitors. So how is it different, and how can you maximize each one of them? So the first type to consider is the new visitor, right? The new visitor. I'm not gonna do a lot of, how do I share? Something changed in the,
And there is a question, but I'm not sure if it's now to ask, or I'm not sure what the question is, Yuko, why we have to put sale number for pictures of, I don't understand, of pieces. Yuko, I don't really understand the question, I'm sorry.
Let me see the question. Because it sounds like it's about the labeling. Why we have to put sale number for pictures? Because you mean style number? If not the sale, but the style number.
Style number, yeah.
Yeah, you need to put it because some people know the styles. They know what they're looking for, and they're searching for it. So you want to be findable by those that know the styles. Some people do. Some people do. All right, so the first type of visitor that will visit your website is a new visitor, meaning it's someone that is not familiar with the brand but needs some sort of education. So what you offer them is a pop-up that says, hello, is this your first time? Let us give you 10% or 20% discount using code blah, blah, blah if you register with us. That's an incentive. It is customary to give 10% off for first-time purchase. It's an industry standard, so I would encourage that. And in one of our sessions about about Facebook marketing and about Shopify, we talked about marketing through Facebook Messenger. So through your Shopify, I know how to do it through Shopify. I don't know how to do it through the other tools, but you should explore how to do it. You use Shop Message, which is an add-on app that you install, and they identify if the user comes from Facebook, and if they come from Facebook into your store, they don't show them the welcome pop-up. They do show them the Shop Message pop-up, which shows a different incentive to say, if you subscribe to marketing through Facebook Messenger, you can get 10% discount. And it's working really well, I have to say. Not many people subscribe, but those that do usually execute and they buy. So once the user subscribes to that, your email client, which is either Constant Contact or MailChimp or Klaviyo, whatever you're using, will generate automatically. It should happen automatically. You should not be doing anything. An email to that new user that says, hello, welcome Jane Doe, here's your 10% off. Make sure that the email is designed make it really personable. And I would say, specifically for you guys, include a picture of you. So they see the face behind the store. It might be that they know you already and they're gonna be happy to make the connection that the store they're visiting is yours. And it could be that they don't know you, but they're gonna feel, they're gonna start developing trust because they're gonna see the face behind the store. So that's this is the first step for new visitors. The second category of customers that you have is a visitor. So someone that has already been to the website and has engaged minimally. They looked at which brands you have, what sort of price point do you offer. They snooped around, but they still need a little bit of education. So the first thing that you do is you make sure that you added those who subscribe to the 10% off to your community list. It means that there's nothing that you need to do to add them to MailChimp or Klaviyo or Shopify, but you may want to update your custom audience on Facebook once a month with all the new emails that have been added. So I would make a point every first day of the month to update your customer lists everywhere. So to make sure that all new customers are added to your marketing cycle of custom audience and retargeting. You send them an email and invite them to join your Facebook page, your Facebook group. You introduce yourself. You tell them a little story about who you are. People are bombarded with emails, and that's why you're not going to bombard them with another. You are going to bombard them if it's just another general marketing email. But if it's hi, first, you can personalize your email. So it says, "Hi Jane, thank you for subscribing for the 10% off. I am Leah, I am Jan, I am Patricia, I am Sandy. This is my story. You know, Patricia, you have a really nice story to tell in your email. You can say we're, I'm a mother-daughter business. It's, developed from this and that. Sandy, your personality, invite them to check your YouTube channel. Further introduce yourself and just think about it as, just like any other relationship. Do it after, 3 days. Send them that email. After 3 days that they visited your website. Side note, when we look at email software next week, Klaviyo has absolutely beautiful automated emails, which means that you create it once and it's just done automatically. So they will send the first welcome email to the new visitor, and then after 3 days, they're going to send another follow-up email to say, please, follow us on the social media channels. And then after 5 days, they're going to send another email, and they give you the template and the design, and you just change the copy, and you decide, if you want to send it after 3 days or 5 days and customize it. It's really nice. And I would also say, and that's a great, interesting topic for discussion, you can also ask them if they want to opt in to receive texts. A lot of people add their phone numbers, and surprisingly, a lot of people would prefer to receive their marketing via texts rather than on emails. I'm going to show you. I am getting texts from Third Love, which is like an intimate wear provider. And let me see if I can share my, let me share it to show you exactly what it looks like. All right, give me a sec. You can design it so it has an image as well as short text and a link. So anyone who opts in for your text marketing gets a really nice, right. You see my phone screen? Mm-hmm. Yes? Yeah? Yeah? Okay.
We do see, sorry.
So I'm getting these. It's an image. And it says, ready for a new kind of lace, us too, introducing the new graphic lace collection, cups, AA until L, including half cups. So it's really nice,
Yeah,
image and short text. And when I click on it, these are old, I hope they're going to work. When I click on it, I automatically get to the page. And I can just shop. And they even offer, I don't know if you can see, but they're offering last chance, $15 off free underwear when you buy 2 bras with code blah, blah, blah. But that's another incentive when they're trying to get me as a visitor, because I have not bought them yet, to make that first purchase. It's a beautiful flow. That's something that you can think about. Text, coming to the site, here's an offer to further encourage you to buy. All right.
There's a question about the mailing list. What's the best way to consolidate the emails? If some are on MailChimp, some on Square, some are on handwritten. I mean.
Yeah, so you need, yeah, so this is the first step that you need to do before you create a website, create a Facebook page. This is the first thing that you need to do. That is to put everything on a spreadsheet. And I gave the template. We have the template on the Roni Rabl community, and I think we shared it on email as well. First name, last name, email. That's the core of what you need to have. If you have phone number, address, preferred brands, that's you get extra points for that. That's
question. How to consolidate? I mean, I guess it's a manual job.
You need to upload everything to either Klaviyo, MailChimp, or Constant Contact, or whatever other software you're using. But it needs to be one place, and that place needs to be connected with your online store, Wix, or whatever you're using.
And Sandy's asking, please remind us how to remove images in texts. Huh.
That's done in that's done in the software. When you're sending the text, you can either send just a text or text with an image. So when we look at Klaviyo and MailChimp next week, I'm going to show you how to do that. The next type of visitor that you're considering is the shopper. So that's someone that's been to the website, they looked around, they put an item or two in the shopping bag, but they have not bought yet. So for them, there are two types of emails that you can generate, and two types of ads that you can generate. One is browse abandonment, which is, and I've put a little example here. It means that the website knows the email address of the user, but they understand that they've looked at a specific item, but they have not made the purchase. So after the person exits the shop, there's going to be an automated email sent to the client to say, we noticed that you were looking at that dress. How about, we give you an offer, or not? You don't have to give an offer. Just a reminder that it's still there and it's, going fast. So you better hurry up and buy it. That's one way to do it. And abandoned cart is when the person has actually went through checkout and they put the items in the shopping cart and they did not pay because something happened. So with both of these flows, you need to create them. And with Klaviyo, again, it's very easy to do. You set it up once and it's done for you. With MailChimp, it's a little more complex and it's not that sophisticated, but doable. And also Shopify, and I'm sure other software as well, they generate abandoned cart, automated email. However, I will say that I see a significant difference between if you send automated emails from Shopify rather than, first thing in the morning that you do, you open your online store, Magento, WordPress, Wix, you open and you see who are the people that have abandoned the cart, and then you send them a personal email from your inbox. Say, hi, my name is Erica, and I noticed that and I own the store, and I noticed that you were interested in this piece, and just to let you know, it's running out fast, and is there any way that I can do to help you with that? And just send them that from your inbox. It's a personal email. People just view it differently, and you can recover, I would say, 30% of your abandoned carts using that. It's more work. I have seen a larger percentage of abandoned carts recovered with Klaviyo than MailChimp, and I do like MailChimp. It's much more simple and nice to operate, but they do a good job, and they actually offer 3 emails for abandoned cart. So, it works. It works. Retargeting on Google display ads and retargeting on Facebook ads. So you already have the email of the person. You can create the ad so that it shows them the product and it hunts them in, New York Times or wherever they're going. And I have to say, a lot, when I look at Hotjar or Lucky Orange, the applications that are added to Shopify to record sessions, some sessions are over 1 hour, not just because the person is looking and browsing for 1 hour, because you can see that they start looking and then they pause for 20 minutes and they go do something and then the session continues. People forget. They close the browser and they forget. So you're not invading their privacy by retargeting them with the product and reminding them to buy. Where would you have that opportunity in a store where someone comes in and then walks out and then that's it? So I think it's a beautiful way to actually grow the connection and make people happy that they get what they want. First time customer is someone that made a purchase already. So that's great. You send them a thank you email to say thank you so much for choosing us and for buying with us, and you show your appreciation. Again, this email is available in Klaviyo for you to customize, and you can make it your own. And I would again add your picture, and I would add a personal touch. Maybe not a picture that you took with your iPhone with no lighting, but something that is representable and nice. But definitely a personal touch, so that they know that you are appreciative of their gesture. You ask them to review the product in a follow-up email, and that's again helping you with your SEO and with your findability.
We are the Israel Defense Forces.
Ooh.
For 72 years.
Where is that?
What's that?
I don't know. Israel Defense Forces have joined the call. I hope I can help them. Just by the way, Israel Defense Force has great social media. Hilarious. It's very interesting. But let me mute everyone again. Israel Defense Force, if they have questions, I'm more than happy to answer. You're right. So, and the beauty is that Klaviyo, for instance, can identify if after 90 days a person has not bought anything. You can group them into a group, which is automatically updated, and you can send them an email to say, hi, Jane, we have not heard from you in a while. Is there any, can we offer you anything? Would you like to have some feedback? We're here with this collection, and we'd love it if you, come back to us. It's okay to send that. If you're not using Klaviyo, then you need to find a way to generate that email. And it could be a manual job where you're just downloading a list of all of your customers and when was their last purchase. And you're filtering by that, and you're identifying all of those that have not bought in a long, long time. And you send them an email through whatever it is that you're using, Gmail or MailChimp or Constant Contact. Any questions so far? Okay.
I have a quick question, like I always do. Can I ask it?
Yeah, of course.
I was wondering, because when we obviously have a brick and mortar, we get customers that come in because of the walk-in traffic, people we don't target necessarily, that may just be discovering us. They make a purchase. I have two ways of trying to collect their information. We do it kind of old school. We've got like a paper and pen. Some people really like to write them down because we've got an older customer sometimes, or a more mature. I hate saying older, more mature customer. But I also have the Square POS. So they have, put it all in there.
Yep.
So now I find myself in the conundrum. I do all my email marketing on MailChimp. So that has the most email addresses. I'm collecting things on Square, thinking that it's easier, but I'm wondering, and then, so I have that POS Square, which wants to collect emails and numbers and all that stuff. I have the MailChimp, which has the original emails and contact information.
Yep.
And then
the handwritten ones.
Yeah, the handwritten ones. So MailChimp, Square, and Shopify, because Shopify is so I'm wondering, can all of these three platforms?
Well, Shopify and MailChimp supposed to talk to each other some way. You can use MailMunch, which is like an app that marries between Shopify and Mailchimp, and you don't need to sync them. But let's talk about POS and Square, because that's actually a very good question. The best practice would say, use Square, because that's automated and people are not gonna, they're not gonna write a letter and then you're gonna have to break your head if it's an I or an L, and it's easier technically. But if I hear you saying people really prefer and like to write down the emails, then that's where I would revert to. Whatever works for you. If you discover that people prefer to, and maybe they prefer to do it in a different, if they want to write it down, then you first offer to write it down.
Because I'm wondering now too, people aren't going to want to touch the screen.
Yeah.
They're not going to want to, I'm trying to figure out a way to try to use more Apple Pay if they come in, and they don't have to get out a credit card if they don't want to. And I don't know if they want to touch my screen, because I just flip it from the register.
Yeah.
And it's clean. I clean it, but I'm not sure how people's perception will be.
I would just say, but I mean, that's where every store needs to figure out what people are responding to. And if people are responding, if your audience responds better to handwritten down emails, then this is what you stick to. And then you make a point every Friday to write down those emails and add them to MailChimp.
Aline, Andrea is mentioning ShopSync, syncs to Mail.
Okay, but between Syncs MailChimp, great. Yeah,
Okay.
So about a year ago, Shopify and MailChimp have divorced, and since then there have been developed several apps that are syncing between the two, and it's possible. And I love MailChimp. It's nice.
ShopSync, it's called?
ShopSync. It's in the chat.
Okay.
So
Thank you.
Leah is saying we handwrite receipts, even though we use Square for a multitude of reasons. Every Friday, whoever is working is responsible for putting those emails, captured handwritten emails, into MailChimp. And the form on the website, Wix, goes straight into MailChimp, so no user input. That's great. Yeah. You just need to make a point of updating and syncing all the lists. And I will add to that if you're doing the Facebook custom audience, then that's another place where you want to update your lists as well.
Mm-hmm. Okay, thank you.
And again, and if we're talking about adding people to groups, so make a point to sit down on Friday and add those people to your Facebook group, either by paying Facebook advertising and marketing to them, or if you have decided to go on the personal route and become friends with them, then add them to your page. Andrea is saying, but be aware that I've had an issue with customers becoming unsubscribed if they click the accept marketing and Shopify checkout, even if they're highly engaged MailChimp email reader. Okay.
Yeah, I will be switching to Klaviyo because of this, because I realized many of the in-store customers were being unsubscribed because now they can only shop online, and they were checking out through Shopify, and somehow I'm clicking that because they already get our emails, and I'm losing them. So I had to redo everyone.
That's actually huge, Aline.
That's very big for me.
Yeah.
Can you repeat that again? I didn't understand. What happened to you between the two?
So because my in-store customers are shopping on my Shopify store right now, in checkout, there's a checkbox that says accept marketing. If they uncheck that, because maybe they think they don't need it because they're already subscribed, it's unsubscribing them. So now they're in non-subscribed, and they're no longer getting my emails. And these were highly engaged customers.
Yeah.
Oh no.
Good point.
Is that because they're connected somehow, MailChimp and Shopify, or?
It's the way MailChimp reads the data from ShopSync, and they say that it's a Shopify issue. It is not.
Can I ask you a question? Does that happen with other platforms? Like I have Constant Contact and I'm just going live on Shopify probably today. So would they unsubscribe to my CC because of that?
I don't know. I would contact
Very good point.
the email provider.
Also, Klaviyo is offering a two-step verification, meaning that when you register through Klaviyo, you're getting an email to confirm that this is your email. It's an annoying step for both the vendor and the shopper, but it keeps the list very high quality, meaning only someone who really wants to be subscribed is getting it. So, and you do have the email. It's not like they're typing in some sort of, you know, a mistyped email and then you're losing communication with them. So it's good. Okay, let's move on for repeat customers. So repeat customer is someone that made several purchases over time. So with them as well, you send them an email and it's a thank you email and you customize it. And again, with Klaviyo, you have the opportunity to easily plan it. You don't need to be a coder and say, hey, Mr. Klaviyo, if you see a person and they've made only one purchase, you send them this thank you email. And if you see that person and they've made over 2 purchases or 3 purchases, send them that email. And it might be that you want to include some sort of a benefit or a code or a thank you or a gift or something in either one of them. And that depends, again, if you need to kind of look at your overall customer list and try and slice it to say how many are VIPs, how many are repeat, how many are first-time shoppers, and you're trying to see how you're moving people from the first-time customers into the repeat customers, and from the repeat customers you want to move them to be a VIP. So what is that extra step that you need to do to encourage them to move to the next group, right? What's the incentive that you want to offer them? Repeat customers, someone that has made several purchases over time. Did I just do that? Oh yeah. Personal emails, yeah. So personal connection and great customer service cannot be stressed enough. It's all about your connection with them. You know, I know with my boutique that they know exactly what I like, and they're emailing me to say we're having a winter celebration, birthday celebration. How are you? The perfume that you like has just come back with another scent. We're gonna have a trunk show next week with someone that I really think that you're gonna like. It's a personal email that the owner sends me. It's not automated. It's a pain, but you know, I'm then spending money with that boutique, and I care about them. And in times of crisis, you know, that's where you can build that relationship and support. Surprise boxes, so you can look at the history of purchases and craft a box and send it to them. And you can retarget them again on Facebook using the custom audience. And you can offer them special promotions that are saved for them only. Again, this is very general. You know your audience, so you know what works for them and what they respond to. It's more like a framework that you need to have in your mind constantly of what am I doing to cater the first time? What am I doing to cater the repeat? What am I doing to cater the VIPs? How am I further developing my relationship with them by helping them? And throughout all of this, I have not mentioned it, but of course the Facebook group that you should have is a great resource to further develop those relationships and create that personal relationship with them. The last group is the VIPs, people that have shelled over X amount with you. They visit regularly. They always check. They know the style numbers. They know what's coming up. They have, you know, they know the brands. They shop with you because of you. They like you. Their purchase cadence changes, but you can somewhat predict it. And then again, I would really stress out personal email with personal treatment. And sending them special, every deal that you offer on the site, anything that you offer, you give them a 24-48 heads up before everyone else, and you let them know that you're doing this for them, to cater for them. Yeah, that's more or less the 5 types that you should consider. I don't know if anyone has more ideas or suggestions that they want to share, something that has worked for them. for the different groups. All right, so I would also, one last slide is that there are other possible segments that you should consider when you're doing your planning and your marketing. And we will talk about segments specifically with Klaviyo, because that's Klaviyo's, that's their sweet spot. That's what they're really good. That's where you need to be mega careful with them, because it's mega sophisticated. So you want to, again, know what you're doing when you're creating segments. Klaviyo allows you to create segments for the VIP. So you tell them, anyone who's spent over X amount, anyone who spent over $5,000, automatically add them to my group. And that way you don't need to worry about transitioning people from repeat customers into VIPs. Okay, you have a group that you can create that says anyone who has ever, anyone who is in a specific location, please group them under this segment, so that, and that differentiates the people that buy from you online versus the people that shop in store with you. By size, meaning it could be that you find that your audience is really, really with you because you're serving a specific size. Plus size is a really great example, as well as petite, or and you can filter those. You can find and define those groups by constantly monitoring your customers in Shopify and Magento and all of these, and recreating those in the system. I have not found a way to automatically update brand and size in Klaviyo, but it may be that I'm missing something. So it's a good question. I'm trying to get a Klaviyo person to come over and demo it and answer the questions that you might have. So it's a relatively short session today, but it's a very important framework for you to think about when you're creating the entire, your Facebook, your every channel. What am I offering for this? What am I offering for that type of customer? Did it make sense? Yes? Okay, good. Great. Yeah, that's it for today for me. Again, relatively short. Tomorrow, if there are no more questions, any other questions, I'll just remind you that tomorrow we're having a Lightspeed rep coming to demo Lightspeed and to answer questions. I think it's an interesting session. It could be an really interesting session just to see how Lightspeed works. And even if you have another software, it's interesting to see what Lightspeed does, and then check with your provider to see if they can offer that as well. I will say that our contact in Shopify has sent me a list of resources that all of those that are considering Shopify should use. There's a Shopify Academy and Shopify webinars, and I will be sharing those as well. And yeah, is there anything specific that you want cover or want recovered?
Leah is asking if you have done any testing on your website to learn about how users travel through the site, meaning if they go to page X, they click
Google Analytics. That's Google Analytics. So that's a separate session that I think we started talking about yesterday, that we will have next week. You should have Google Analytics synced with your online store. And in the Google Analytics, there's an area that talks about behavior and traffic and where do people come from, as well as what's the first page they're entering, and what's the next page, and what's the next page. And you should be able to identify if people are visiting, tops more or dresses more or a specific brand more than others, and optimize that page to the best that you can. So Google Analytics is the answer.
Yeah, Leah, you asked, I'm not sure if you can unmute yourself.
Let me read.
Another.
Would you email me Shopify info? Yeah, absolutely.
Sorry, I just turned my video off because I'm having lunch. I just had someone tell me about these tasks that you can actually put into your website into Wix or into Shopify, not just the analytics.
Video.
That will give you, that'll give you like a little more information about, well, if they start on the page Alambika, because I have some designers,
Right.
what's their next click? But what if they start on the shop page? What if they start on the home page? So it gives me specific data based on where they started, and then
What's it called? What's the tool called?
No,
What's it called?
He said it was A/B testing.
No, A/B testing is when A/B testing is like a generic name for, say that you want to promote a dress, okay? So you're creating two versions for that, two email versions for the dress, A version and B version. And then and for one, say you're using the catalog picture, and for the other one, you're using the photo shoot picture. And then you send both emails at the same time. But A/B testing on the website for flows, are you talking about a specific application that does that?
I'm looking at his message just to make sure I didn't give you the
what's the
wrong.
name of the video that you can watch people shopping live? What's the name?
Yeah, I'll show it to you. There's
That's the one you mentioned the other day.
yeah, so but it's not necessarily comparing, it's more there's Lucky Orange, and this is for Shopify. So you have Lucky Orange, and they're cheap, they're relatively cheap, and they record sessions on your store, so that you can see where people go to, see reasons people don't convert. So they actually, and they give you a really nice, as much information as they can without invading privacy. So they tell you where the users are coming from, which country, which state, what device they're using. I mean, one very important thing that we haven't talked about yet is that every time that you post something, you need to test it on mobile as well as iPad, as well as your laptop. So Lucky Orange, and the other one is Hotjar.
Okay.
But that's recording sessions.
I just got the link that he sent me. I'm going to put it in the chat so you can see it, because it talks about using marketing integrations to perform A/B tests on the site using Visual Web Optimizer and Crazy Egg. I haven't used these. It's on my list to look into. I just wondered if you had already done it.
I have not used Crazy Egg, but I heard it's good. Yeah.
Do you want me to send you the link, or no, you don't need it?
No, I know Crazy Egg, and it's worth everyone on this call to check it as well.
Okay.
And there's a question about Lucky Orange. You see that? Does Lucky Orange open in your Shopify apps?
Yes.
I downloaded it and it wouldn't load on the app. Andrea, go ahead.
Yeah, I downloaded it and it wouldn't open in the app, like the App Store when you click to open it. So I uninstalled it, and their tech didn't get back to me. Their support.
That's the difference between Lucky Orange and Hotjar, I guess. Lucky Orange, they don't cost almost nothing. They're very cheap. And Hotjar is $90 a month.
Oh.
But I guess that's a part of the service. But I would then call either I would call Shopify to see. I mean, I'm using Lucky Orange. It opens up for me.
Okay.
But that's the difference. Yeah, I guess they don't have enough money to pay customer service. But Jeannie, for your question about texting, I have been hearing a lot about the need for having a texting service for businesses, because many people prefer getting text. That's what Alin, I don't know if you were here in the beginning, even though I always fight with Alin and saying, I do not want to get text, but it's really personal. I guess you should not listen to your own voice when it comes to marketing. Ask your marketing person. I hate texting, but go ahead.
And you send an email, or when they register, and you ask, first of all, there's an option when they register to say, I don't want to give my email, I want to give my phone number. So first of all, you give them that option. Second is if they're already in your database and you have the number, but you don't have permission, formal permission from them, not that, but you don't have permission from them, then you email them and say, hello, Jane Doe, would you prefer for us to communicate via text? And then you mark them, you segment them under no email, just text. And it's possible through Klaviyo, definitely. I'm pretty sure that through MailChimp as well. I just don't know how.
Yeah, so the answer is yes.
Yeah.
Some women, a lot of them prefer that.
Yeah. Okay.
What was the app that you used for the text that you showed with the bras? What was, or that you received? How did you text that image with the copy?
That's not me. That's their marketing to me. I don't know what they have used, but
Okay.
what I would say is check out either, I don't know if MailChimp offers that. I'm pretty sure it does, or through
Yes and
Shopify.
no. And yes and no.
No. Okay, so I mean, Klaviyo offers it, and I'm sure there's an added Shopify app that can help with that. I don't know.
Okay.
Do you know a Shopify app that helps with texting? No, she's not with us, so it's okay. Yeah. Someone says I use 5-star for phone messaging. There you go.
Yeah, Georgia.
What is Klaviyo? Is it like MailChimp?
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Yes, it's an email service. It's the latest thing. So once Shopify and MailChimp divorced, Klaviyo got the large share of all the people that use Shopify, and it's a lot more sophisticated than MailChimp. And again, I really like MailChimp. I love using it. I think it's very simple and comfortable using it, and very user-friendly. Klaviyo just offers a lot more options. So it's very famous for its automation techniques. So you build specific flows, just like what we discussed today. If it's a first-time user, do this. If it's someone that bought once, you do that. If someone abandoned cart, you send them this, and that. And you can very easily customize the emails, and everything is automated, so you don't need to worry about anything. And it's a very well known for its segmentation options, so that you can segment lists very easy to say those group of people who have spent over $5,000, put them in under VIPs. I'm just saying $5,000 as an example. I'm not saying that that's what you should use. If the people that have bought in the New York area and the tri-state area, put them in this list because I'm going to do a pop-up there, or I want to invite them to a store event. That's why it's really recommended. And also the other reasons that were mentioned here in the call.
Someone is saying that she uses 5-star for phone messaging.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm looking for anyone, and if there's any question here, you can just unmute yourself if you do have a question. Leah, I thought that, go ahead, Alin, sorry.
No, I'm saying.
Hi.
No, yes, Sandra.
I just have a question. I am getting right now, I feel like Bridget's diary, when she used to say, oh my gosh, now people know how to break up with me on 5 different portals. I get up every morning at 4:30, right? My phone is binging from the night before, but it's trying to keep track of who's doing me on Instagram, who's doing me on Messenger through Instagram and Facebook, who's doing me through email, because some of my clients have my text, who's doing me on text. And I know that we've been talking about merging things, but so many of my clients, because I'm brick and mortar for so long, and I'm really hoping today that we will go live, I'm so confused about how to, if I can even retrain them to try to hone everything in on one portal. Right now I've been working on this, the raffle as I talked about. So now everybody's used to just emailing me, because we let them know that if they email me, at least they get on the list and they have a shot at getting into the raffle this week, because now we have waiting lists for it. So, but how do we get everybody else to, like, I don't know, get everybody into one communication zone?
You cannot.
Yeah, you need to find a way to be organized.
Yeah.
And, I am the least organized person in the world. Yael will tell you that. And
but you manage.
Yeah, you have to find a way that works for you.
Okay.
Yeah, and Michelle, do you see the question, Alin, from Michelle?
Michelle is asking, how easy is it to import? Very easy. I mean, most softwares are very easy to import from one another. You download whatever you have on Constant Contact, you download as a spreadsheet, and you upload it to Klaviyo, and that's it. Klaviyo, KL. Let me show it to you.
And Sandra, I can only tell you that when Alin joined us, she just trained us, and it took her a long time to train us to just check your channels every day. When you start your day, middle, late, it took me a year to
This is Clavio.
adjust. Clavio with a K, yeah.
That's them.
So, Aileen, I'm assuming that on Clavio you can make your own template, you know, because we don't use a constant contact template. We made the thing that we like and that so that we're consistent.
Mhm.
You can do that on Clavio
Yeah.
too.
All software are pretty much, they're very similar on the design front. I will say that I have heard that you need to do more images, text, images-based texts. So if you write a text on email on Clavio, it's preferred that you do it on an image rather than write it down, but that's like a minor thing. But most of them, yeah, it's very easy to answer your question.
Atop the image, like the image is the background and the text goes on top of it.
Yeah, that's what's recommended
Really?
on Clavio, but
Does Clavio integrate with WordPress?
But Sandy, I don't know if it might be the recommendation for MailChimp as well, just to use HTML-based emails or images because different email clients just reorganize the text differently. That's like I think I sidetracked you with that. It's a very minor thing that you should not think about. But overall, Constant Contact, MailChimp, and Clavio, it's the same. Drag and drop images and really easy.
You see the question, Alin? Does Clavio integrate with WordPress?
I don't know. I'm assuming so. I'm assuming so, but I can check. I love WordPress, so I'd love to find the answer to it. I'm pretty sure it does. Just
you
one
go
more
to their
answer to
website,
Michelle.
they'll come
Michelle, when you import, in MailChimp, when you download the customer list, it generates 3 lists: subscribe, unsubscribe, and another one. You take all of these 3, you import them to Clavio, and automatically identifies which ones are unsubscribed, so you don't need to worry about that. Okay.
Yeah,
Yes, the other question?
I'm looking. All right. Perfect.
Yeah, a lot of channels. So Aliyah, I don't know if you saw the template that I've suggested using in the Roni Rabl community. It's like a spreadsheet, and it has the days at the top and the channels as a side column, and you just sit and you plan exactly what you want to say in which channel so that it's all organized for you. And you sit down and you say, okay, Sunday, what am I promoting on Facebook? What am I promoting on the Facebook group? What am I doing on the homepage? What am I doing on Google Ads? You don't need to take action every single day on every channel, but you go through the channels and you say, what am I doing on Instagram? What am I doing to encourage the first time, the repeat customers, my my store shoppers, my POS customers? What do I do so that's what you need to do. Just plan
It's
it.
funny. She's telling you that she actually used your sheet and made my own
Okay.
weekend. And I had a meeting with my marketing expert, my fiance, last night using it. Wow,
Great.
Leah.
Thank you. Good. Yeah, good. It's a
Yeah.
habit. I'm telling you, Leah, I'm the least organized. I hate that spreadsheet, but when I do it, it changes everything. It just saves me a lot of time during the week. I spend that 1 hour, and then it saves me so much time during the week to think about what I need to do. So it's great.
So I had muted myself because I'm trying to have my lunch here. For me, I think the point that I'm going to try to use that spreadsheet with is just to come up with a month-long strategy. Because usually I think in shorter themes, and it's a lot of the moment stuff.
Yeah.
So we'll see, it's a challenge. There's so many things coming at us right now between upgrading everything on the website and getting the AdWords and dealing with the customers. But no, I think it's good, and I'm starting to use it. So I'm going to see what happens.
I want to show you one more app that I recommend that I know that exists in Shopify, and you please check if it's available for Wix, WordPress, and all the other ones. I'm pretty sure it does, and if it's not this one, then it could be another format, and it's called Push Owl. And let me share. Push Owl. So, you know those websites where you go and it has like a pop-up on the top left of the screen that says, would you be willing to subscribe to notifications? That's it, Push Owl. And what it does, it pushes notifications in the bottom right of the customer screen. So I wouldn't recommend to use it, definitely not on a daily basis or not a weekly basis, but at least once a month. It's a nice way to pull people back to the website. Just have a look at this, Push Owl. So you have different ways to engage with customers, either for abandoned cart. They get like a pop-up notification here at the bottom right of the screen. Let's see if I can find Push Owl notification. Maybe Google will help me show you. Where is it? Is it this one? Let's see. No, I don't see it, but I'll try and find a screenshot and share it with you. But it's highly recommended. Not many people will subscribe, but those that will, it will generate sales. So yeah, that's just one more app that you can use to pull back your customer into your website.